份合同有问题，真正的老板是我。现在，请你们立刻离开。
Imagine this, the hushed, crystal-lit elegance of Lumiere, Manhattan's most exclusive restaurant. At a table of power, tech billionaire Richard Morrison leans back, his voice a venomous echo of corporate snobbery and racism. He points a dismissive finger at his young server, 19-year-old Zoey Taylor, and declares, "I bet $500,000 this black waitress is too stupid to speak Chinese." Morrison wasn't just insulting Zoey, he was unleashing a torrent of prejudice against her generation, her background, and the very concept of potential found outside his privileged circle. "She probably dropped out of high school," he sneers, towering over her. "These people can barely speak proper English, let alone real languages." His Chinese business partners shift uncomfortably, but Morrison is determined to make a spectacle. He pulls out his phone to record her inevitable humiliation, announcing that a $200 million quantum computing contract requires perfect translation, a task he intends to watch this dropout embarrass herself attempting. Crystal chandeliers cast a harsh light on Zoey's trembling notepad. Her professional smile wavers under the cruel weight of his Mandarin performance. Morrison continues his tirade in the language, describing her as uneducated, lazy, and useless. He had no idea that Zoey understood every single word. Zoey's hands, which had been refilling their water glasses, suddenly grow steady. That familiar flicker of steel, the quiet strength of the underdog preparing her comeback, replaces the uncertainty in her eyes. She turns directly to the Chinese executives, and when she speaks, her voice is calm and flawlessly, perfectly clear. "Gentlemen," she states in perfect Mandarin, an accent so precise it sounds Beijing native, "I couldn't help but overhear your discussion about the quantum computing partnership. Your concerns about algorithm scalability are completely valid, but there's actually a more elegant solution using recursive neural networks that could reduce processing time by 40%. The silence in the room is deafening. Morrison's phone clatters onto the marble floor. The Chinese executives are frozen in absolute shock. Zoey doesn't miss a beat, switching effortlessly between Mandarin dialects and technical jargon. She points out that the contract uses outdated encryption protocols and that the technical specifications could be optimized further. She wasn't just fluent, she was demonstrating advanced quantum computing knowledge that would challenge PhD computer scientists. The lead Chinese executive recovers first. "How do you know about quantum algorithm architecture?" he asks, leaning forward with sudden fascination. "I've been following your research papers," Zoey replies smoothly, still in Mandarin. "Your team's work on quantum entanglement protocols is brilliant, but there's room for improvement in the decoherence correction systems." Morrison is paralyzed. The restaurant has gone completely quiet, as phones, now capturing this impossible moment, document the spectacular destruction of his entire worldview. The girl he called too stupid is now being courted by his billionaire partners. But Zoey's linguistic genius didn't stop there. As word spread, she became the center of an unfolding phenomenon. When a frustrated Russian oligarch struggles with a translator over a multi-million-dollar cryptocurrency contract, Zoey glides over. She speaks flawless Russian with a perfect Moscow accent, pointing out that his translator missed critical blockchain protocol terms that unfairly favored the Saudi partner. She then seamlessly switches to Arabic for the Saudi partner, then German for the Swiss banker. She's not just translating, she's explaining complex financial and technical concepts across multiple languages and disciplines: economics, law, science. The restaurant becomes her laboratory, showcasing a genius that operates across fields that typically require decades to master. One of the Chinese partners pulls out a business card. "Miss, we must discuss licensing your expertise immediately. How did a 19-year-old with this extraordinary gift end up serving tables?" The truth behind Zoey Taylor is a powerful story of sacrifice. 18 months ago, she was MIT's rising star, a double major in computer science and linguistics with a perfect 4.0 GPA, developing revolutionary AI translation algorithms. Her future was limitless until her family's stability was shattered. Her father lost his job. Her mother was diagnosed with stage 3 breast cancer, requiring $8,000 monthly treatments. Her younger brother needed tuition to keep his robotics scholarship. Zoey made an impossible choice. She dropped out of MIT to become her family's financial lifeline, working 3 jobs with military precision: server, online coding tutor, and freelance technical translator. Every dollar, every tip, paid for chemotherapy and her brother's education. Her dream was only delayed, not destroyed. The diverse clientele at Lumiere became her secret research subject. Every conversation in every language, every subtle cultural nuance, was data for her AI prototype, translation software that captures context and emotional meaning. Morrison's insult, the patronizing stares, they all became motivation. She was not just surviving, she was strategically building an empire one conversation at a time. Desperate to salvage his dignity, Morrison tries one last act of bullying. He yanks out the 500-page Chinese contract, scattering the dense legal and technical documents across the table. "You have 10 minutes, he challenges loudly. "If you can't translate this perfectly, you're just another Gen Z faker." The restaurant holds its breath. Zoey doesn't flinch. She scans the first page, looks up, and delivers the ultimate blow. This contract has 4 critical legal errors that could void the entire agreement and expose both parties to patent litigation. "Would you like me to fix those while I translate, or should I just point them out?" In just 7 minutes, not 10, Zoey not only translated the contract but transformed it. She optimized the quantum algorithm description for 23% better performance, fixed inadequate patent language, and suggested diplomatic solutions. The Chinese executives frantically take notes, whispering, "She's better than our entire legal and engineering teams combined." She hands Morrison the expertly annotated contract. "That'll be $3,000 for the legal consultation, standard industry rate. The translation and optimization suggestions are complimentary for first-time clients." The restaurant erupts in applause. The power dynamic has completely flipped. The man who publicly degraded her is now being asked for advice by the young woman he tried to crush. Morrison's partners immediately asked to hire Zoey as their primary legal and technical consultant. He realizes that he hasn't just lost a bet, he's witnessed an extraordinary talent with the grace to forgive his ignorance while proving every single one of his assumptions catastrophically wrong. The story of the GeniusWaitress spreads like wildfire. But the final, most profound change comes when Morrison, faced with the evidence of her genius, her perfect MIT transcripts, her revolutionary research, offers her a deal, a $2 million investment in her AI startup, a top-floor office, and access to his entire network, with full equity control remaining hers. He confesses his unconscious bias and ageism. "I was so afraid of being outshined by someone a third my age that I couldn't see what was right in front of me." Zoey gives her restaurant notice with grace, recommending other young workers for advancement. Her genius wasn't just for personal achievement, it was meant to change the world. She didn't just win a confrontation, she opened the door for an entire generation told they were too young, too inexperienced, or too different to lead. This is the power of a prejudice showdown, a story about a brilliant underdog whose comeback shattered barriers of bullying, racism, and corporate snobbery. Let us know in the comments where you're watching from. And if you believe that potential should never be dismissed because of prejudice, hit that subscribe button and the notification bell for more stories of undeniable brilliance.